It's the first time Atletico have conceded 3 goals at home since September 2012. And Barcelona are the first team to have scored 3 goals in the first half since Simeone took over the club.
Well, that's because they're normally so resolute at the back, but we said at the start, no Diego Godin, and they want to win the match, so they've been a little bit more offensive.
Godin makes a change at half-time. He throws on Sal, who's an energetic young player.
Yes, managed under 21, and he certainly has got a lot of ability, Rob, and likes a shot from the edge of the box. Great experience for him, but a bit surprised that the only thing I can think of is that Griezmann's got an injury.
Griezmann did have a couple of big opportunities in the first half, and it's an interesting change as well. They've effectively taken off a striker in Griezmann, and Sal is an attacking midfield player. He can weigh in with a goal here and there.
Yeah, he's an attacking midfield player, but I think it has to be an injury of some sort. It can't be tactics. Not when you need goals, and they need 2 goals. If he really thinks he can still win it, then at some stage Mandzukic has to come on.
Here is Lionel Messi. Well, he's just reaching, as we'll confirm this in a moment, but we're being told that Gabi was sent off. He was yellow carded in the first half. We're trying to get to the bottom of that.
I think it's got to be something said in the tunnel after the first half, Rob. I think that's the only reason I can think of, and there was the exchanges between several players. But it's all Barcelona. They're dominating now, and this is the reason why.
Well, you can see immediately Atletico got into a defensive formation. That must have been a result of the half-time fracas that we saw. Alves throws in the cross, headed away. Well, that gives the game a completely different complexion, doesn't it?
Totally. Well, I think Bodo Zeno will be very happy. There'll be plenty of ticky-tacky now. Wow, what's going on here? Arda Turan looking for the free kick, doesn't get it. Has the referee seen what we've seen? He has.
He's hurled a drinks bottle, not as far as the crowd, but in the direction. As far as the crowd, but in the direction of the crowd. Or was it his boot?
It's his boot, Rob, but he felt he should have got a foul. The linesman didn't give it. This is the incident here. The linesman's watching the play, so he doesn't see what Arda Turan does.
He realises immediately the foolishness of what he's done.
Yeah, but you have to keep your calm, Rob. That's the thing. You don't lose your temper, and you've got to keep your calm, otherwise they'll be down to 9 men. Just say it hits the linesman.
Well, if that hit the linesman, that would have been an Eric Cantona type suspension, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Nobody would swap places with that man at the moment. Little Manzano.
Well, I said at half-time, I think that Atletico Madrid are going to need 6 goals to actually go through in this tie, because I see Barcelona scoring lots more.
Referee checking the validity of the shin guards as well. Rakitic. We can confirm that Gabi was sent off as a result of the fracas at half-time. It was only announced as the players came out for the second half, though clearly Simeone had time to consider things and has introduced the young man Sal. The odds are very much stacked against Atletico Madrid now, Jerry.
Totally. Well, I think they're playing straight into the hands of Barcelona. They can keep the ball better than any other team. They'll just pass it and keep it and bide their time.
Well, tactically, Simeone got it pretty close in the first half. They had more possession than Barcelona. They got off to an absolute flyer.
Well, it's good pressing there. Sakira and Arda Turan between them.
Well, the positive side over the years for Atletico is that they've mirrored the energy and the footballing skills of their manager Simeone, who was brilliant in his day for Argentina. But the downside is that sometimes they also mirror his temper and his lack of discipline.
That's the downside, and that's what I said earlier, Rob. You have to control your temper, especially in these situations. You know, they were jubilant, buoyant when they went 2-1 up, and I wasn't sure that they should have been 2-1 up. It wasn't a penalty kick for me. It was outside the box. And then a little bit of bad fortune when the third goal for Barcelona went in. They probably should have had a penalty at the other end. But you have to get on with it. You have to accept these decisions and just get on with it. Lionel Messi on the ball here, and he's not getting pressed. He's taking his time. Oops, loses possession almost.
It's taken 5 minutes, I think, for the Atletico supporters to digest what happened during that half-time break. They too were aware that something had kicked off, but it was only when they saw Sal coming on they realised something was afoot. And you can see the protests. They've turned their back on the game. Jordi Alba, little flick off his Miranda, whose own goal is the difference between the sides. Suarez.
Well, Jimenez does really well. Throws that off his international teammate. Well, that's where he catches him. Dani Alves catches him, but the linesman doesn't give it. You have to play to the whistle. Those are the rules.
It's the fourth red card of the season for Atletico Madrid. And indeed, it's the second for Gavi, who was sent off against Malaga back in November. Ter Stegen plays a dangerous game again.
I think he gets hurt as well, Rob. Does he take just too long?
Lionel Messi strokes the ball to Jordi Alba. Alba flicks it in. An attempt at the spectacular from Neymar. Great ball from Sal. Fran Garcia. Brief tackle being challenged by the Atletico supporters. Luis Suarez. Alves, great tackle from Siqueira.
Hesitancy from Dani Alves gets him into trouble. It catches his knee on the follow through. He hits him in the knee on the medial ligament. That's sore. That'll hurt him. And this is the other one. He gets caught. Well, Torres kicks the left knee of Ter Stegen.
You can see Atletico visibly have been affected by the loss of Gavi at half-time.
No, listen to the lads about the tactics from Atletico Madrid about winding up the opponents to try and put them off their game and unsettle them for the second half, and it's backfired on them because Gavi's got himself sent off through ill-discipline.
Certainly taken the sting out of the game. The referee did do his very best in the opening 20 minutes not to caution anybody.
I still can't believe he didn't book Mario Suarez for 3 or 4 challenges in the first 20.
Atletico fans focus their eyes upon the game again. Spoiling tactics now from the home side. relish the extra space in midfield. Flies it at Neymar. Messi takes it back. In the way is Juan Fran. And if there is a team that is equipped to play with 10 men and to diligently defend, it is Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, their work ethic is second to none, Rob. Their team and their morale's built on the work ethic, and that's part and parcel of Simeone. But they've got a massive mountain to climb here, and I just think all the cards are stacked against them at the moment.
It's the state of play. 2-3 on the night. Barcelona 2 goals up, notably. Of course, they have the vital away goals.
Barcelona just happy at the moment to keep possession and say, well, you want to get the ball, Colin, take it off us, we're back here.
Burgos is the assistant of Simeone, former goalkeeper of the club. You may remember had an 11-game ban in his playing career after a challenge on an Espanyol player, Manuel Serrano, back in, it was 1999. Rakitic. Thuram.
Well, there's the happier of the two managers, no doubt about that.
Well, it's amazing, isn't it? Luis Enrique started the year under scrutiny after he decided not to select Lionel Messi from the start of a game. Since then, the defeat against Real Sociedad, they've gone on this winning run. Garcia charged down.
Great ball.
Messi, wonderful take by Messi. Dances with the defenders. Now Rakitic. Messi won't go away. Atletico conserving energy, letting all 10 players they have on the field behind the ball. Busquets. Messi. Jordi Alba. Iniesta. Suarez makes his move. Jimenez, he can't stop him, and flamboyant overhead chip from Luis Suarez.
Well, this is a difficult skill, but he has a go at it, doesn't he, Luis Suarez? Doesn't matter the angle. Looking to find the far corner of the net with the overhead kick.
Another change is made. And Fran looking uncomfortable. Not as uncomfortable as those troubled supporters. Like for like, as Scammers comes on. Now in the league game, he was an experimental left back. An experiment that went wrong against Barcelona. So he'll be asked to tighten things up on the right-hand side. The squad at the moment of Simeone is getting a little stretch. Godin is suspended tonight. Thiago, experienced midfield player, has a rib cage injury. Koke, who drives the midfield, has a thigh problem. It's making a bit of a dent. Iniesta. Alba. Now Neymar. Suarez.
Oh.
Neymar claiming he was fouled outside the area. And there's going up and showing his displeasure.
Well, he plays it. And
I tell you what, Raul Garcia left the boot out there, didn't he?
Don't watch the eyes, Rob. He stuck his leg out knowing he was coming there.
Raul Garcia is one of those on a yellow card.
He is, he's on a yellow card. And that's a time as well. Linesman couldn't have been closer.
He has to be polite. I mean, he was lucky to escape, which is the yellow card for throwing his boot at the other linesman.
That's an interesting one. Oh, he catches it in the top of his left arm. Jeremy Mathieu, who's been out for quite a while, injured, stripped and ready to come on. Well, who would he come on for? Would he come on for Piqué or would he come on for Mascherano?
Just having a little scan around, see if anybody appears to be carrying an injury down there. Nobody appears to have taken a knock during the course of the game.
Or he can put him on for Mascherano and push Mascherano in the midfield and take a midfield player off.
Will be revealed shortly. Now Barcelona slip into their favoured style of short passing play, something they were not allowed to do by Atletico in the first half. Neymar, body checked, referee acknowledges it, it's played in towards Messi. Alves beat it by Siqueira. Too many options for Siqueira. Right, now the change. Mathieu has missed the last 3 games, as we see James unceremoniously.
Well, there's 2 things, Rob. The challenge from behind from Raul Garcia and the body check as well. None of them were clever. Straight swap, Rob.
Mascherano given a break is virtually an ever-present. And of course Simeone has to be clever with his substitutions. He's bringing on Cani to give him a debut. The recent signing from Villarreal has been brought here on loan.
I think that tells you he's given up the ghost, basically. He's basically saying, we can't win this match. I have to think to the next league game. Try and save legs and players. Arda Turan, frustrated. Got a yellow card. Don't want him getting sent off. Don't want to lose him. Take him off. Bring on Cani.
Atletico still very much, of course, in the frame in La Liga. 3 points behind Barcelona in the standings, 4 points behind the leaders Real Madrid. Simeone getting the vote of approval from the supporters who chorus his name around the stadium. You may say he's looking at the bigger picture, Cherry, but I don't think Simeone would ever give up on any game of football.
I think he is now. I think he's basically saying, look, I have to be clever here. We're down to 10 men. We're losing 3-2. I need to score. Well, they need to score another 3 goals. They need to win 5-3. Because 4-3 is not enough. On the away goals rule, they have to score another 3 goals. And I think he's basically conceding it.
Suarez to Neymar. He wants to take that match ball home with him. Mario Suarez tiptoes through the midfield. A lot of support. Heavy challenge from Iniesta.
He's already complained, Rob, as well, hasn't he, about the game and the time for kickoff on Saturday. Doesn't think the game should have been played on Saturday at 5 o'clock.
There's a lot of complaining going on. The teams that are playing on Thursday are unhappy with that as well. But Simeone was hoping for an extra day's grace to prepare his players. Alves. Now Messi.
He's well cut out by Gamas in the end.
second half. No change in the scoreline. Everything is hinged on half-time fracas. Now the pendulum of possession is swung very much Barcelona's way. Neymar through to greet him. Messi tries to feed Suarez, cleared by Miranda.
They can't retain possession though, Atletico Madrid. You know, the domination in this second half, it's got to be at least 70% in favour of Barcelona.
Iniesta, Messi, Rakitic. Alves screaming for the ball on this near side. Messi doing his own thing. Takes the free kick quickly, nothing wrong with that.
Oh, he's having lumps kicked out of by Jesus Gomez, isn't he? Takes a free kick. It's a good position as well, which could be a problem. There he is, kicking the standing leg of Lionel Messi. He takes some abuse, doesn't he? Or is it canny? It wasn't too canny a challenge from him, was it?
Rakitic and Messi stand over the ball as it favour the angled left-footed shot of Lionel Messi. Messi goes for it. Well placed. Mario Suarez.
The longer they have possession, Rob, keep the ball, frustrate Atletico Madrid. The clock ticks down, and their passage into the semi-final is safe. They've got 1 foot in the semis as it is.
Barcelona have been scoring goals so freely this season in the Copa del Rey. 4 and an 8 against Huesca, 5 and a 4 against Elche. They've been averaging 4.4 goals per game in this competition. They've had 13 different scorers this season, Jerry. Well, I suppose 14 now if you count Miranda's own goal.
Yeah, well, I mean, I watched the last game in the Copa del Rey, and they were so good in the previous round, and they were able to play the likes of Rafinha. And I thought he played really well. I look at the bench tonight, and Bartra played, and Adriano played, and Pedro actually played as well. But Sergio Roberto had an excellent game. And a lot of the younger players, the unknown names, they've got so much talent coming through Barcelona. Adama's the one I liked as well, Rob. I told you about him. He's very strong and attack-minded, good pace. One for the future.
Non-Qs would agree.
Oh, that's a bad challenge.
It was another late challenge, and the referee reaches immediately for the yellow card. And Suarez goes into the book, not Louis. Mario.
The problem is, why has it taken so long for Mario Suarez to get booked, Rob? I'm not being funny. He could have had 2 yellow cards in the first 15 minutes. Misses the ball, comes through the back of the standing leg of Sergio Busquets, and another one walks the tightrope.
Tries to get through Miranda. Skillful play by Brazilian centre half, but he was cornered. Little else he could do.
There's nowhere to play it. He's looking to play the ball down the line. There's no one to hit it to. He's looked to see if he could play the ball inside. Too risky. Puts it out of touch. This is one of the players I was talking about earlier, Rob, coming on for Rakitic. What great talent this Rafinha is. He's got great skills and technique, can keep the ball really well. Another opportunity for him.
Of course, Barcelona prevented from signing players in the transfer market, making any more registrations, so they're going to be relying on the likes of Rafinha. 21 years of age. He was loaned out last season to Celta de Vigo. Didn't have a bad season at all. Of course, he was under the management of Luis Enrique, who immediately recalled him to the Camp Nou in the summer and has given him a number of games this season.
Oh, I like him, Rob. He's got a great ability and lots to look forward to. Now a break on for Atletico Madrid.
Fernando Torres first with seen with him in the second half. Yames. Busquets with a neat header away. Oh, what a save from ter Stegen. Can he shots and had to be cleared under the crossbar by Piqué.
A great shot from Cani, tight angle. Knew what he wanted to do. Takes a touch and hammers it. Good save from ter Stegen. And look at Piqué's reaction. He's first to react, otherwise Fernando Torres has a tap in.
There may be a man down, but they've just created the best chance of the second half, Atletico. Al Garcia, the near post, Suarez is back. Up goes Sal.
It's a goal kick. I think the beards are in this time of the year, Rob. Everybody's growing them. Even Cani has a beard.
Great ball. Excellent run. Messi to finish it off. No, he can't.
It's a good
All
chance.
Black keeps Atletico in the game and in the tie.
It's a good chance. Not a great finish from Messi, to be fair. Rafinha's incisive pass to Neymar, who sets it up for Messi. Not expecting him to bend that in the far corner, Rob. Well, that's a simple save for All Black. Chance at either end.
Mario Suarez. Cani. Jimenez.
Well, he's done it twice now. He just dives into the area and looks for a penalty, doesn't he? Great, the cameras captured that from Raul Garcia. There's no contact from Mathieu. He just throws himself into the 6-yard box looking for a penalty kick.
Jordi Alba. Too far ahead of Iniesta. Miranda. Yames. And a challenge from Piqué and Torres, of course. The locals want retribution.
Well, it's Mathieu has got the wrong side. He's gone wrong side and the pace is beating him. Clever play from Fernando Torres.
With an ankle tap and a yellow card to follow.
Just about to pull the trigger and Dani Alves clips his heels. Just there.
Much breathing space to tell you about the other games coming up this week, but to make a note, of course, the quarter-final second leg between Getafe and Villarreal starts us off on Thursday, 7 o'clock kickoff in that one, followed by Athletic Bilbao against Malaga. Sky Sports 5, and if you're a follower of Sevilla or Guillem Balaguer's Espanyol, that's on the red button.
Some really tight ties still to be played, Robin. The Bilbao Malaga's a good tie, so too is Sevilla against Espanyol. A very good in-form Espanyol, I would say.
Messi plays tag with Sal on the go of him.
Well, Messi's taking the return, but there's a late challenge on. Is it Neymar by Sekira on this side? And Sekira gets a yellow card as well. And they're following the ball here, but the challenge came in late as Sal climbs all over Lionel Messi.
Approach the final 15 minutes. Let's break a play. Barcelona are going to try to capture the referee's attention and bring on Pedro.
That's the challenge there, Rob, from Shakira. It's actually Dani Alves he caught.
It's all getting a little indisciplined. Neymar is given some rough treatment by the Atletico supporters, though he will have the last laugh. He's the man who's scored 2 vital goals this evening. He saunters to the sidelines. Pedro is his replacement.
I think they want to take him out of the firing line, Rob. They don't want him getting injured. There's been a lot of individual battles going on, and I know he was involved in the fracas at the end of the first half, along with several players.
Maybe offering Neymar just a little bit of protection. Barcelona have a telling game this weekend. They're back at home against Villarreal, but Villarreal are in frightening form at the moment.
Well, they certainly are. Dennis the Menace. Cheryshev is the man there who's been doing a lot of damage.
This will be Barcelona's 7th successive win in all competitions.
Great ball.
Dani Alves tries to select Messi. Sal makes no ground. Leg was left in the way from Raul Garcia. Catching the Rafinha.
He gets a little bit of the ball, I think that's what he's trying to say. But for the referees, like, he gets too much of the player.
Would you say he looks disgruntled, Jerry?
He is disgruntled because he's been painted as a villain, but he's been the hero for the Barcelona team and the fans. There's 3 in the wall now.
Messi delivers. Helped on. Rafinha. It's no strength in the shot. Alves. A bit of a lash out there from Cani. Have settled down as this game has gone on. There's Alves. Barcelona will be happy to stroke the ball around, to play these short passes, something they weren't allowed to do in the first half of the game. Messi. Strong defending from Jimenez. Miranda to Jesus Gomez. Atletico, as you're saying, Jerry, unhappy. They now was it 67 hours between the end of this game and the start of their next match.
Yeah, that was the problem.
The Leibar in the Basque area of Spain. Messi.
Oh, what a touch.
Take. Iniesta couldn't quite finish the game off. Oh, Black, good save, sharp goalkeeping.
Rob, what a great run from Iniesta and what a fabulous pass from Lionel Messi. I have a needle pass and wonderful goalkeeping from Oblak, not once but twice. That first touch is magnificent. A little toe poke, keeper spreads himself, does well. As Miranda grabbed his arm, jumps out of the way. The defender.
Fernando Torres. Well, it is such a shame for the spectacle that Gabi, amongst many, lost his head. And that half-time whistle went. And his dismissal has certainly affected everything in the game.
There's a break on here. Barcelona can capitalise on it, and Jimenez is caught in possession.
He clashes with his international teammate Luis Suarez.
Oh, another one. Remonstrating with the referee. Have to keep the anger under control. You can't contest every single decision the referee makes. And this young man is 19. He's got great future. He's a wonderful defender. And does it hit? Who does it hit last? I think it hits him last. It does hit him last, and it comes off him, and he's giving it the other way. Look at the reaction. But I think that's a carbon copy of Simeone. Simeone and his players all react the same way. They think every decision should be theirs.
About the 6th yellow card and a red for Atletico Madrid compared to 3 yellows for Barcelona. Oh, there we go. Messi tries to thread it through, teasing the defenders. Oh, and he's caught.
He's going to get sent off,
Yes.
I tell you.
Oh, it's just been a series of silly tackles from Suarez, and he's the second Atletico player to see red in this game.
But again, for me, it's a lack of discipline. And he could have had 2 yellow cards in the first 15 minutes. He got away with it. Doesn't learn the lesson. And this is frustration boiling over. And again, Messi, he plays it. Look at that challenge. That's awful. Straight down the back of his Achilles. Now, how can you condone that as a manager? You can't. He pats him on the back and says, well done, and it's not well done. And it's the same for the captain, Gabi. You let your team down when you get yourself sent off.
Well, you may remember Simeone being the anti-hero in the David Beckham incident back in the World Cup finals.
Well, we all saw it. We know what he did. And there's a lot of players on the park here who are doing exactly the same. They want to kick you, but if you kick them back, they go down as if they've been shot.
He's a wonderful manager, Simeone, great tactician, gets many plaudits, but there is just that nasty side to his team. Messi only delivers it to Oblak.
Well, as the clock ticks down, Rob, it looks like Barcelona are in the semi-final, but the other semi-final between Villarreal and Getafe still to be decided.
Alves to Rafinha. Alves to Rafinha. Alves to Rafinha. Barcelona's advancement. say is a formality now. 4-2 on aggregate, 3-2 on the night. Atletico with 9 players on the field. Messi taking on all comers.
There's another lack of discipline, Rob. Just crazy.
Can he this time? Marks his Atletico debut with a card.
He's the one to tell you, if you do that in Canny, he will roll over 6 times after you clip his heels like that. Messi knows it's a foul, he gets on with it, but Canny deliberately clips his heels. I still think it shows a lack of discipline.
Busquets. Dani Alves. Rafinha. Iniesta. A lot of movement in the areas. Jimenez with a header away. Dani Alves. No pressure, he can try shots like that from angles like that when there's such a comfortable difference between the two sides.
Yeah, it's worth an effort. He hasn't got a goal yet this season, Dani Alves. He thought this is an opportunity, but he's got to strike it better than that.
Iniesta. Now Dani Alves. Messi. The referee blew right on time, didn't he, on the 45th minute of the game. I don't think anybody would be unhappy here if he finished the game right on 90. Take Atletico out of their misery. Cool the tempers of some of the players.
It's good skills from Rafinha.
Here's Luis Suarez. Rafinha expresses himself. Alba fires it in. Good block by Miranda. And Rafinha goes charging in. And cheers from the home supporters as he flattens Raul Garcia.
But does he catch him on the side of the face, Rob? No, he doesn't. Does Raul Garcia grab his face? Yes, he does.
Just looking at the two coaches. Simeone, of course, had what was an 8-game ban at the start of this season after he was sent off against Real Madrid in the Spanish Super Cup. His assistant once had an 11-game ban as a goalkeeper. And they've had 2 players dismissed this evening. Iniesta fights it through a sea of players, and well, Oblak is one of the few in the Atletico changing room who can hold his head high. Been a good performance by this new goalkeeper.
Yeah, he's done well on the chances that they've had. You can't fault him on any of the goals, Rob. I think he's done well again. Good goalkeeping. Puts his body behind the ball, holds on to it. Jimenez is another one who's done very well for a 19-year-old. I think he's got unbelievable potential, but has to harness his temper and keep focused. Not you lose the discipline. But I think you could say that about a lot of the players. Sakira's played well tonight, left back. But other than that, I suppose Torres done his bit in the first half.
Another 2 extra minutes added to the game. It was a spectacle in the first half. It was spectacular in the first half, and then it kicked off as the players headed to the tunnel, and the game had gone.
It spoiled the game for the second half because they had no choice. Atletico Madrid, Simeone, they played a 4-4-1. They weren't going to be offensive. They were getting behind the ball. They handed the ball to Barcelona, who've had about 70% possession second half, and that suited them down to the ground, knowing that you've got to score 2 goals as well. But Mario Suarez's second booking was another silly one as well. Really did play into Barcelona's hands, and Luis Enrique will be very happy the way things have turned out.
Well, they're going to have one last try, Atletico. They're throwing all of the players that they have on the field forward for this one, as we have a minute of the stoppage time. Sal delivers it up there. Headed away by Rafinha. Suarez. Jimenez comes away with the ball. And, the tackle and responsibility, he lies at the feet of his players, maybe the temper of his players.
Yeah, the discipline's let them down tonight, Rob, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. They were still in the game at half-time.
Well, the referee draws to a close what should have been an excellent game of football. We had a cracking first half, but then Atletico lost their heads at the break. They lost Gavi, they had to make changes, the momentum was gone, and Barcelona took control of the game, and it became a formality. Barcelona head towards the semi-finals. Atletico are now concentrating on the Champions League and the league. Final score of the evening was 2-3. 4-2, Barca win on aggregate.
Yes, the game, the tie was finished really at half-time tonight, not just for the goals, but as the guys have been saying, Barcelona score, but also because of the Atletico players just completely losing their heads. We really didn't know which way it was going to go in the first half, especially when Fernando Torres scored after just 39 seconds. Barca didn't panic. Some big decisions, of course, by the referee, which we'll have a look at in just a second. But it is Luis Enrique's side through to the semi-finals. This is their side of the draw.